All right, looks like it's Addison Penwarden coming out with Savage Genetics bred hog. Girl right here in the purple. That is going to be Adeline Gunn, and that's a Sam Shear bred hog. Paisley Oglesby's coming out. That's another Savage Genetics bred hog. Yep. That gilt right there, I mean, obviously she's little, don't weigh a lot, but I think that gilt will be all right one day. Cole Cates coming out here with his Hampshire hog, and I'm trying to think.
Are these purebreds?
These are purebreds, yes, sir. Landon Barnett's rolling out here. That's Landon with his Leesman one. And looks like probably Reese Pierce coming out here with the black-legged hog. That's going to be a Wood Livestock. Looks like Paisley Oglesby caught a pin with hers. Blakely Bottleberg's coming out next with her 650 gilt. Not sure the breeding on that one. I do know the pig, I do know the kid, but I'm not sure the breeding. I do know it came from 650.
Please check
Looks
the
like she's gonna go ahead and
prospect
catch a
bearer
pin as
classes back at the wash rack posted. We made some changes, so check those. Make sure you
And that one right
understand
there,
what's going on there before the
that's one of
prospect
those in
bearer
show both ways. Brody Hurley's
show
coming in
starts.
here.
If you have
Brody
any
has,
questions, check in at the
I don't
blue
know.
tent. Leon will get you fixed
Velvet
up.
gilt. Looks like Paisley and Blakely both caught a scale, both caught the scales, and looks like Brody Hurley's headed there as well. Brody, who bred your pig? Who bred your pig? Leesman? All right.
Here we go.
Looks like Brody's got a Leesman hog there as well. So got a pair of them Leesman hogs in here. So it looks like Adeline Gunn headed to a pin as well with her Sam Shear gilt. I didn't realize how many pure Hampshire gilts I had on feed this year.
I think Adam Beck's doing a pretty good job. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Adam does a good job. I mean, you know, he's in the boar stud business. He makes a living selling semen, selling show pigs. So he knows hogs. I mean, you can't make a living solely raising hogs, selling semen, and not know hogs and know what a good one needs to look like. So he does do that. So you know,
Yeah, I think
I've always thought Adam's done a really good job. Raised some really good ones over the years as well. So
he likes some look, but he likes some power. I mean,
Yes.
he kind of combines it all. I mean, he's getting the best.
playing some good music here. We got a good sound man.
Go ahead and start easing your Herford gilts up to the ring, please.
Hey, easy hand.
Oh, you like the Herfords?
Yeah. Hey, we
I
raised
can't watch that.
we raised the champion Herford Expo last
I know,
year.
but I can't watch
We got a few on feed. So here,
they make you
here comes
hammer.
Blakely back out with his 650 gilt. I think that one is pretty unique for purebred Hampshire, especially ahead of her blade. That thing right there, it's extended and tall
Is
fronted.
that Oglesby?
No, that's Blakely Bottleberg.
Where's Oglesby?
She's in the corner over here in the orange shirt, tall. Adeline Gunn with her Sam Shear gilt.
That one's cool looking.
I think this Adeline Gunn in the purple, I think that's a cuss a little. I was texted earlier. Somebody said, hey, you and Josh need to learn the difference between coral and pink. This is Oglesby right here. This is Paisley. I think that's a Viper. I know it's from Savage.
That's a great.
I have not looked at her papers, but she's kind of different.
She's
You know,
bigger legged than
that's one that, I mean, honestly, that's our guilt. We need to chill her out quite a bit. But I mean, the same way I'm trying to get her chilled out and big enough to be at fighting weight. So
row. No, that's nice. She's bigger legged than the rest.
yeah, she is.
I me's it's a fight deal.
This Hampshire deal's gotten pretty good.
It's gotten a lot.
Gotten pretty good over the years. So
No doubt in that. No doubt.
okay, the Bottleberg gilt, the 650 gilt is a Viper. two of them are mine, and Oglesby went, I think, fifth.
Put her fifth?
Yeah, and I mean that gilt's pretty moderate and pretty out there, and we kind of knew. I mean, that's just something we kind of knew. So we just got to want to get them out a few times. We don't have a lot of opportunities to get purebred Hampshire gilts out in Texas. This is a very good opportunity for that. Looks like got Blakely and then Adeline Gunn and Brody Hurley. I think a real good trio of them there. Kind of built different. You know, there's one that's kind of the freak kind of hog of the bunch as far as the way they're put together. And then there's one that's just real complete, balanced. Maybe not quite as trendy looking there.
I like that fifth place.
Yeah. You know, and you know as well as I do, a lot of times in third, fourth, fifth place, that's the one that raised the high dollar babies, the babies that win. So.
She was good. Purebred Hampshire, I thought she was excellent.
I thought so too. Looks like Hurley's going to be third, Gunn's going to be second, and Bottleberg's going to be first, and your champion.
Nice class of Hampshire gilts here, and the young lady in yellow needs to win and does so fairly handily. This thing is very unique for a Hampshire. I love this thing from the side. She is so good and how she ties and blends together. You step back and watch her hind leg and how it functions. She no doubt has the best hind leg of everything in this class. I think this is a very unique Hampshire gilt, and when her time comes, I think this one's going to be hard to turn. I like this thing's look. I like where she's at in terms of her maturity. I think a very nice place to go ahead and start. Young lady here in the purple is going to go ahead and be second, and one that just looks like a Hampshire brood sow. This thing is so good in terms of her rib and her body. She's very comfortable on her feet and legs, and I think where she excels, our third place gilt, is in that regard and how she sets her hind leg and how she flexes and goes. I think one that's very good in terms of just her overall pattern and design. Another high-quality Hampshire female there to go ahead and be in second. Young man coming out in third. I love the front two-thirds of this one. I like that one's shape. I like her muscle, extension, and look up front. Young man's presented her to a T. Skin and hair is awesome. Where I'd like to fix this one is right there in her rear ankle. Just need to flex and set her down there in her heel just a little bit better. She gets a little straighter in her rear pastern. Just need to flex her and go just a little bit better there to move her up. Young man here coming out next just kept on driving himself up and does a very good job doing so. I like this one's look in terms, I like her body and composition extremely well. She got a little straighter out of her shoulder the longer the drive wore on, but one that I think's really good. She's square and secure in her hock. I think a very nice gilt to be sitting in fourth. Young lady coming out in fifth has got a very intriguing female here, and if this one gets big enough, this thing is going to be an absolute handful because she's got those extras in terms of bone and stoutness of feature. Just need to blend and balance her a little bit better right there at her hand-loin junction and just make her a notch bigger in her overall type and kind to move her up any higher. But like I said, if that one gets big enough, she's going to play ball pretty hard. Young man coming out has got one that just simply got outpowered throughout the drive. I think one that's very good in terms of her overall lines and build. Just need to stouten her up at the ground and give her a shot more everywhere to move her up any higher. But I think her day's coming. Very nice gilt and has got a bright future. Same can be said with the young lady coming out next. Another one that's really good in terms of look and extension. She's tall about her shoulder, not quite as much bone and substance. Young lady rounding out the class. Got a big, tall front, a good-looking one. Need more to this one to move her up.
All right, and a very deep and good class. There wasn't a lot in there, but the quality was real good. First place, and your champion went to Blakely Bottleberg.
Placings in the Hampshire's Prospect Gilt. Champion in first place, Blakely Bottleberg. Second and reserve champion, Adeline Gunn. Third place, Brody Hurley. Fourth place, Landon Barnett. Now we're going to show our Herford class for the very first time. We have Herford gilts here at the Texas National Show.
It's going to be more than there was Landraces last year.
Hopefully we continue to see the numbers grow in this Herford division.
I'm gonna chill out.
So your champion Hampshire gilt was Blakely Bottleberg. That was a Viper, sired by Viper, bred by 650 show pigs. Adeline Gunn was your reserve champion, and that was, I think that was a Cuss a Little. I know it was bred by Sam Shear. I think it was a Cuss a Little. Third place was Brody Hurley, bred by Leesman. Fourth place was Landon Barnett, bred by Leesman as well. We're on to the Herford class, our inaugural Herford class. Guys, we got three pretty good ones here. See Tatum Jingo's running across there. That's a Versace, and that is bred by let me see who that's bred by. Barker. Bred by Barker. Cole Cates Cole Cates is going to be a guardrail, and that one's bred by Beeman. And Landon Barnett has got a guardrail bred by Beeman as well. Josh, you are the resident Herford man. You do probably have more Hereford sows than anybody in the state of Texas.
Probably.
I think there's one out there to me that the head and neck carriage is absolutely second to none on. Maybe not quite as stout, but man, that Colcate, that one has got a really good one there. And then Jingo's got the Barker gilt here, and sired by Versace, and that thing is dense and stout and hairy. So let's see what Adam has to say about it. Looks like Colcate's 1, Jingo's 2, Landon Barnett's 3.
Well, not big in numbers, but I'd say big in quality, because this one here that wins does so extremely well, and she can withstand a lot of competition. I think a very good female of any breed and any color. I think one that's just so good in terms of her build and her balance. She comes at you very, very good in terms of her chest and her knee. She's very secure. You get in behind her, she's very, very sound and very square. I think a very good Hereford female that can withstand a lot of competition. This one's going to have a bright future. Young lady, it's going to be second in reserve. I think one that does have bigger legs. This one's really, really stout in her bone and feature. Didn't think she was quite as tall at the point of her shoulder. Not quite as unique in terms of look and extension up front. But, man, this thing is burly. And still with being that stout, she's really square in her hind leg. Young lady's done a nice job presenting her. My congratulations to her. Young man coming out in third has got one that is very sound and very good looking from the side. Just not quite as much hog to her when you step on top of her. She gets a little flatter in her forerib. Just need to open that thing up and give her a little bit more there on the top side. But a nice class of Hereford females. My congratulations to those kiddos.
Adams Fab. Established in 2007, they build custom livestock pinning and equipment to fit all your needs. Hanger feeder rods, adjustable slam gate latches, and skirted panels. It all comes standard. Custom pins made by hand and hot dipped galvanized so that you know that they're going to last. Adams Fab is a certified TIPS vendor and can design, fabricate, and install equipment to fit all your needs. Visit adamsfablivestock.com to get started today.
Gilts. Come back to our Hereford gilts. First in that class was Colcate with a Beeman gilt. Second, Tatum Jingo with a Versace.
I want to go ahead and announce that immediately following the purebred gilts, we're going to start into the crossbred gilts. There'll be the all-black crossbred gilt, then the dark cross, then the light cross, and then we'll come back and we'll show for champion purebred, grand champion overall, 5 deep. And then we'll come back and we'll show for grand champion crossbred, and we'll go 5 deep there too. So both champion drives will be at the conclusion of the crossbred gilt show.
Now we'll come back in with our Landrace prospect gilts. Have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 head in there.
Yep, looks like Emma Williamson catches a pin with her high heat gilt. Doesn't say who bred that one, but I know who bred it, and we'll just wait. Let's see. It's like Jagger Monroe's out there.
I'll tell you on this
I know we're
Landrace.
missing a kid. I don't know where he's at. Oh, here he
Here
comes.
he comes, yep.
I don't know why in the heck there we go.
I'll tell you on this Landrace deal, after going up to the Midwest and kind of sorting through some pigs for Texas majors this year, they have come a long ways. I saw more bone and dense baby pigs for land races than I've ever seen. It's going to be a pretty competitive year in the land race breed.
Looks like Holt Sims is catching a pin with his McGrew gilt. Try to look up the pedigree on that one. Pretty deep set. I mean, I'm going to tell you how much this Landrace deal has grown. Last year there was 3 head here, and this year there's 8. So, I mean, that's not huge numbers, but for a show in Texas, that's pretty good for the Landrace. Looks like Olivia O'Brien, she catches the pin, catches the scales and the pin right there as well. Like Jagger Monroe's going across there in the red shirt. I don't know.
Grasshopper's all we have on
Yeah,
that one.
that's all we got on that one. So I do know the majority of these kids. It helps. I mean, I talk to everybody, so that's why I know some of these kids and who they are. And I may not know them personally, but I just know their names. So it kind of helps. But I do wish they had numbers for the few that I don't know. I'm not sure who that young man is.
Maybe a -5.
Yeah.
But I don't show a -5. No.
No. I'm gonna say that was Carson Haynes. No. Yeah, because I actually know the names of these 4 kids. That was gonna be Carson Haynes there. Bred Pecan Show Pigs. Looks like Cole Cate's going to go ahead there and catch him a pin. Kelton Bailey caught a pin. Jagger Monroe.
He's placing the bottom
Placing
right
bottom, yeah. Freddie Coleman leaves him out there. I guess he weighed back 3. You're going to see how that goes as well. So it's like 3 way back. It's Emma Williamson, Holt Sims, and Olivia O'Brien. So. Here comes holding out right now. Here comes Olivia. Olivia actually, she had the 3rd or 4th overall Landrace last year at San Antonio. Emma's got a really good gilt there, high heat gilt. And I think there's three gilts out there. Looks like O'Brien goes 3rd. I had a pair of gilts out here I think are very good. These gilts actually, there was one show earlier in the year where we had a little paper gilt show there after Thanksgiving. And I think this pair of gilts was there, and they went 1 and 2 as well. And, boy, they both matured very nicely. I think San Antonio is going to be real exciting when we get this pair of gilts back out there. So I think one of them's a little better head of their blade, a little stouter.
Very nice pair of Landrace females here at the top end, and I think a pair of females that are a little contrast in how they're put together. You've got the really stout one over here and really big in her bones, and you've got the real feminine looking one here. And I think the one that, to me, I would choose to land on is the young lady right here in front of me. When she comes at you, she's better in her chest, she's better in her knee. So I think she ties and blends a little bit better there on the top side of her skeleton. I think one that's shape and muscles extremely good. I think her future is incredibly bright. Young man here that's going to be reserve has got one that I like this thing in terms of bone and foot size. Didn't think she blended quite as well in terms of her head and her neck. I didn't think her knee was quite as good when she comes right at you. But man, that thing has got a lot of power, really big in her bone and foot size. Very nice gilt to go ahead and be in 2nd. Young lady, it's going to be 3rd, is one that is so good in terms of her balance and look from the side. She's very, very sound and comfortable on her feet and legs. She just simply runs out of horsepower in terms of bone and foot size down low. Need to stouten her up at the ground to move her up any higher. But man, this thing's got a really good set of feet and legs and running gear. very square and very secure. Young lady's got her nice gilt to be sitting in third. Young man that's going to be fourth has got one that I think her day is coming. She's just a little green today, not quite as much power, but one that's very sound, very comfortable. I like her bone and her foot size, just not as much muscle and power today. Young man coming out in fifth has got one that initially I thought was ultra good. And the longer the drive wore on, she just wanted to fall out of place and not balance up quite as good. Her top wanted to get a little higher. She gets a little steeper out of her hip. Just need to flesh that one up and push her top down. I think that can be done when she matures and just bodies up. A lot of time gravity takes its course and pulls that top down. I think if it does, that one's got a really unique future. Young man coming out next has got one that very extended, very good looking, not quite as good in how she ties into her ham-loin junction. She gets a little wonky out of her hip, and then we get into some hogs rounding out the class. Just need to fix in an area or two. Young man's coming out is just too moderate, too little. Same can be said with young man rounding out the class. Just need to pick them up, elevate them, make them a little more extended. My congratulations. Nice class of Landrace females.
And in your Landrace prospect female,
If you got a
gilt
spot,
show,
get them up here. Time to show.
first place, Emma Williamson. Second place,
We're starting
Paul
on
Sims.
with
Third,
results from
Olivia
Class
O'Brien.
10.
And fourth,
Landrace
Jagger
prospect gilts. Champion and first place, Emma Williamson. A reserve champion. And second place, Holt Sims. Third place, Olivia O'Brien. Fourth place, Jagger Monroe. Now we'll have two classes of spots.
All right, we're back here on the spots. We're getting down to the very end of these purebred prospect gilts. It's been a pretty good show today. Tim, what are the numbers total? I'm just trying to tell people. I got Tim getting us the total numbers of how many head we had in each show and how many total head, but it is a very good show. Looks like Ava Luke's going to catch your pin there with Diane. I have no idea what that one is, guys, but that's Ava Luke, a good pig.
I'll get the numbers. I want to know, too.
I figured we're online, may as well tell the people at home. It's like Piper Childers there. Hey, young man, what's your name? Huh? Looks like TJ Ware's going to catch a scale. Looks like Teddy Coleman headed straight to the scales as well. So we got Cooper Homan, he gets weighed. We got Ava Luke gets weighed. TJ Ware gets weighed, and looks like Kennedy Hicks dropping back in here as well. She won a class earlier, was reserved Duroc earlier. Very good pig.
Comes in with a really intriguing spot.
Yes,
Grabs the
sir.
scale pretty quick.
Don't know. They might have raised that one themselves, but that's a real good pig. I'd like to find out who raised it because I think that one's got some very neat pieces. Rick, you're doing a good job at the board there. If you notice Rick out there with the board, that is on camera right now, the one and only Rick Whitman. Boy, he's... Oh, David, is that your phone? It's been ringing off the hook. Somebody been sending pictures, man. I don't know. What are you into? Looks like Teddy is getting weighed here. That's a good set of spots. This spot deal's gotten pretty good. I think got a good set of spots. Again, you know, we talked earlier. This prospect deal's all $199 and down. Not all these pigs are going to look their best today. There's some of them that are, you know, going to be just a little more ready, but, you know, a lot of them are not going to look their best today. Their best days are still to come. But I do think that this first class going to range from 145 to 185, so pretty good set there.
Getting that last Kennedy Hicks pig weighed.
Yep. Hey, Josh, I got a text earlier that says we need to learn to distinguish the difference in pink and coral when we're talking about sweaters. So I'm sorry.
Not my strong suit.
Not our strong suit. Well, that's good. Our wives appreciate that we don't know the difference between pink and coral.
How does that go to salmon?
I think salmon and coral are close.
Okay, gotcha.
179 gilts, 248
Good. All right, I just got a word from Mr. Darren Ridley. We have 179 gilts in the prospect show and 248 barra, so that's pretty good. You know, in the prospect gilt show is actually broke up into purebreds and crossbreds, and they give scholarships to each breed, and then they give a top 3 to each breed. Now the barras, we don't have papers, so they show all together just like they do at Texas Majors. I think, man, I don't know. There's some really nice gilt out there. Some with a bright future, and I mean, I guess there's the one that I feel like could probably take the breed to a different level as far as the pieces she has to offer. Those don't always win. They don't always win, and maybe they always shouldn't. But I do think there's one out there that the young lady in the pink, Kennedy Hicks. I think that one is really good in the pieces she has to offer.
Yeah, but you follow that up with the other 2. There's 2 or 3 more in his class that have as many intriguing pieces.
Ava Luke's got the one here that real tall shoulder, real extended, good looking. Probably a little greener in her muscle pattern, not quite as got the oomph and punch up high, but that's okay. I think that gilt right there is real good as well. Cooper's probably got the biggest, freshest, roundest ribbed one. I mean, one of the heavier ones in the class, real mature. Her maturity pattern kind of fits her pretty good. Yep. Probably not as trendy fronted as some of them other ones, but I think has a lot of good pieces to them as well. Teddy over here, I'm trying to think who bred Teddy's. I don't know. Cooper's the home raised gilt. They bred that themselves, CNC show pigs. So Teddy goes 4th. That gilt's really nice as well. Like I said, I think these 4 are really good. Can go and make a lot of noise down the road. I think, you get in the top 3. There's a pair of them kind of got to go together, and one that's either got to win or be 3rd.
Yep.
Can you hear me better now? I just got to, I don't know. If I get too far away from this thing, sorry, Ty. If I get too far away from it, sometimes it don't. Always count on good music here at the Texas National. Let's see, looking like Teddy Coleman went 4th.
Looks like Mr. Beck's getting his priorities straight, too. This is a tough class.
Yeah, I think, like I said, there's 3 gilts in here could go make noise. One of them at OYE because that's where the girl lives. The other 2, San Antonio, Houston. I think San Antonio will be just prime for these other 2 gilts.
I can tell you after watching this class, I'm glad I don't have a spot on feed.
Yeah. Looks like Ava went 3rd.
So you think he kind of broke the pair? He broke the pair up for me.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Well, if you would, put your hands together. Kids are doing a great job. And I tell you, this spotted class is one of the more challenging classes of the day, not because the hogs aren't good. It's just because they are good. There's depth and quality all throughout. I told the kids in 6th and 7th, don't be discouraged because this is a very good class of hogs. And the young man that's going to go ahead and win is one that has the most power, has the most muscle, and still staying extremely comfortable. And that thing is so good in terms of just her overall mass and build. She comes at you really opened up. She's got a big big engine in her and still stays very comfortable on her feet and legs. Is she as freak-necked or as yacked out as our second one? Probably not. But, man, that thing is a power hog. It's so very, very comfortable and good on her feet and legs. I think a very neat place to go ahead and start. Young lady, it's going to go ahead and be second. Has got one that is very unique in terms of her overall pattern and design. I thought her front end wanted to wear out just a little bit. She gets a little straighter, a little choppier there the longer the drive wore on. But, man, that thing's got a lot of really neat pieces. She's got big legs. I just think that one's got a really bright future. Work on her stamina and how she gets across. I think that one's got a really bright future. Like that one a lot. Young lady in third, this might be the hardest thing for me to do because there are things I absolutely dig about this one. When she comes at you, I love her chest. I love how comfortable this thing is. Her lines and how she's put together are very, very good. When you step in behind her, she simply just has to have more. But, man, I'll tell you, if I was going to take one home and feed one, this one here would be a lot of fun because I think you can do some things with that one because her feet and legs are so good. I love that thing's pattern. I love her build. I just simply not as much there today, but, man, young lady, you've got you a very nice one to go ahead and be sitting in third. Young man coming out in fourth, same can be said. Another gilt that's patterned extremely well. She ties and blends very, very well. She wanted to get a little bit more of an attitude here, wanted to get a little tighter there, and I didn't think this one was quite as heavy structured as the gilts ahead of her, but, man, this thing's got a really neat pattern, like her muscle, like her squareness. Excellent gilt to be sitting there in fourth. Young lady coming out next, again, I told her just a very deep class of hogs because I think any other class, this one's up at the top end. Very neat female here. Didn't think she was quite as unique in some areas, not quite as unique in her head and look and extension, not quite as stout at the ground. Young man coming out, same can be said. One that patterns extremely good, not quite as stout. And the young lady rounding out the class, another one that's very good design, just not as much muscle and power today. Excellent class of spotted females. My congratulations to them.
Let's give them a big hand of applause. Really good class. Class 11, Prospect Gilts, first place, Cooper Holman. Second place, Kennedy Hicks. Third place, Ava Luke. Fourth place, Teddy Kuhlman. I want to make one announcement about showmanship this evening. We're going to have, or this afternoon,
Yes,
showmanship will be immediately after we have the Prospect Barra show. So I think we've got about 110 entries. So you guys want to have those
Freddie
tuned up
Coleman
and
and
to announce
Hampshire
our
both
showmanship
catch up here and
judge. He's actually the guy running the scale.
That's
Rick
it.
Oh,
Whitman.
Lord.
So
Tricky Ricky gonna judge
you might want to
showmanship.
be kind to him when you're going across the scale if you want to win showmanship.
Kaylee's, I know Kaylee's is from Jennings. I don't know. I'll try to find out who Freddie's is from. I don't know. Freddie's is from someone who forgot the docket's tail. That's okay. So we got one more coming out. Man, that's another good class. And, you know, Adam, you and I sat here and talked, and, you know, we could have gone different ways. And he talked the class, I thought, right. I really love that class winner. I think a gilt like that in a breeding gilt setting has a lot of different options as to what you can breed her to and go on down the road. And ultimately, that's what these things are here for, is to breed and make babies. So I do like that one quite a bit. So